Hello, everybody. I'm Brian,
And I'm Brian.
and this is Brian versus Brian, episode 186, The Visit. Um, so September 11th, 2015, grossing 98 million off of a $5 million budget. M. Night Shyamalan, once again, not spending no money and making a little change. That's what he do,
Yeah.
baby.
Uh,
What if it's a horror movie, but the horror person is just made of sticks
yeah.
in a shawl? That'll save us millions.
Uh,
uh, yeah, M. Night Shyamalan. Some interesting stuff with this one is that this is coming right off of he had done Airbender and what the hell was that Will Smith one? After
After
Earth.
Earth, yeah.
And
And The
so I've heard
Happening and Lady in the Water. He had four movies that just fucking tanked. And then yeah.
yeah. And so he made no one would give him any money for this because of all that. So he got $5 million. He like mortgaged his house or something, leveraged his
Damn.
house. Um and then he made it, and then he took the first edit around to try and get it distributed, and no one wanted it. Everyone said no. He said the first cut, it felt a little artsy fartsy film,
Mm.
and so he changed it. And then he said a second cut turned it into a comedy. It was too funny. And then so the third cut, I went with more of a thriller type cut. And finally, someone picked it up. Uh, who picked it up? Blinding Edge? No, Universal. And he kept a list of all the people that turned it down. And in 2018, he said most of those people don't work in the business anymore. So
Damn.
he wrote it down. To be fair, dude, your movies are bombing, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
Like, what do you expect?
Uh,
But this
and
is a
found
pretty
footage
interesting.
isn't like a sure thing for the. I mean, Paranormal Activity was kind of a flash in the pan, but other than like every other found footage movie after Paranormal, it wasn't like a smash hit. So you're already kind of
Hmm.
putting yourself in a corner by making it found footage.
Yeah, which is weird. You would never think M. Night Shyamalan and found footage really,
Yeah.
because he has very structured movies.
Hmm.
You know, boom, 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 twist. Like found footage is kind of all over the place. Uh, so two siblings from Philadelphia, Becca and Tyler, prepare for a 5-day visit with their grandparents. But something isn't right. Mama, Nana, and Pop Pop are acting strange. Did you see that? Oh my
Yeah.
God. She's naked in the hallway. What could be wrong? Adventure. Oh my God. Under the house. Excitement. Get in your room after 9:30.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Poop in the shed.
oh my
Uh,
God. Fucking diapers. Ew. You shouldn't have looked in there. So yeah, their mom left home when she was 19. It starts with like, I had an affair with an old substitute English teacher. I was
mhm.
like, oh God, what the fuck? But she's 19 when she left. But how old? She was pregnant at 19? Substitute English teacher. So what, college?
Yeah, I
I don't know.
guess. Yeah.
And then parents were pissed. She got with this older guy, kind of kicked her out the house. She kind of left. It was kind of a mutual thing, fight. And then the guy ends up leaving her a little bit later and the kids. So now they're all alone. And I have no idea what made this happen, but all of a sudden, oh yeah, and the older daughter, Becca, she's a film student. I want to be a documentariist. She just
Yeah.
films shit.
Yeah.
Mom, it's the dramatization of the visual. And then the son, um,
God damn it.
Tyler, yeah, he's a rapper and shit. He kind of reminds me of Jake Lloyd a little bit,
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, totally.
and a little bit of like Jingle All the Way.
Hmm.
And that is Jake Lloyd, isn't it? The other guy, oh yeah, it reminds me a little bit of the guy from fucking the Arnold movie where he goes into the film.
Oh, Last Action Hero
Last
kid.
Action Hero
Yeah,
reminds
yeah.
me of him a little bit with the big
Totally,
old
totally.
shaggy hair. Uh, yeah, but yeah, just all of a sudden, well, you're going to your grandparents, and I haven't seen them in 15 years, and you've never met them, but I'm
Mhm.
sending you to them for a week, okay? It's gonna be fun. It's like, how does that happen?
Yeah.
A week, a fucking whole week? They haven't seen them in
Yeah.
15 years. We've never met them, and we're gonna meet them without you and spend a whole week there.
Hmm.
It's gonna be great. I'm gonna go on a cruise with my new boyfriend Fernando, whatever the fuck his
Yeah.
name was. It makes no sense. It's weird.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm trying to remember, did they reach out to them or did the grandparents reach out? I don't remember with the chain because it would make sense. Like I could buy because the cruise was already set, right? So now she has to find a way for the kids to be taken care of for a week. So it would make sense for the plot to be like, hey, I'm going to be going on this cruise for a week. Maybe we can bridge a gap with my grandparents, go hang out with your grandparents. But I don't think it's discussed like that. I think it's like one of them reached out to one of the other. I think it was the grandparents who reached out to them, if I remember right, but I don't, it's hard to recall. But yeah,
yeah,
that's
that's
an
a weird
easy way
thing
to
to.
get them to the grandparents. Like, hey, I got to be on a cruise. Go hang out with the grandparents for a week. That's all they had
I
to
need
do.
a babysitter for a week.
Yeah.
Who can I get? What about my parents I haven't spoken to in
Yeah, for
15
15
years?
years.
They probably want to see these kids about now,
Yeah.
huh? They grow so quick. Um, so I thought that was a little strange, but we get to the grandpa. I was going somewhere else with that. There was something else interesting about the way it happens, but anyways, they're all filming the whole time. Of course, it's found footage, and there's this terrible story that she won't tell in an interview, and it makes her emotional. Ask them if they tell you that's their right, but I won't do it.
Yeah.
So we got to get to the crazy story at the end, eventually. Um, so they show up there, and oh yeah, the other thing I thought was strange was to show up to your grandparents you've never met in your life, and immediately call them Nana and Pop Pop.
Yeah. It's a little weird.
Those words have never exited my mouth to my grandparents I knew my whole life. You
Yeah.
know, Pop Pop.
Grand. Wait, what?
Like, okay, let's do it. We're just jumping right in. Nana and Pop Pop at the train station. Uh, oh yeah, first thing, like one of the first things, never go in the basement.
Hmm.
There's mold in there. Never go in the basement. We don't want you getting sick. I don't know if you know the way basements or air works, but it rises. We're as good as in the basement right now.
Yeah, totally.
Um, they seem pleasant, and their behavior gradually becomes peculiar. It does, and it starts off like your first watch is of this is pretty cool because it's like, oh, it's not that, it's not like your typical horror movie. It's not going to be like a haunting or a demon. It's just an old lady with dementia,
Yeah, yeah, totally.
and sundowning they
Yeah, so
call it, which apparently is a real thing where you like your dementia kind of kicks up during the night time.
hmm.
And I guess this movie was going to be called Sundowning, which is kind of a cool
That's
title.
kind of a cool
I would have
name,
liked
yeah.
that. I would have liked that title, Sundowning by M. Night Shyamalan. You think you're going to see like an equestrian horse movie or
Yeah,
something?
yeah. Yeah.
um, so it's kind of hard to follow, to go beat by beat on like a found footage movie. So I guess we
Yeah.
just go over some interesting things. One of the first things they're doing is they're playing hide and seek under the house. Oh, this is what mom used to remember the stories of under the house. This
Hmm.
is under the house. And it's a terrible place to play hide and go seek. You have to be on your knees in the dirt.
Yeah.
There's cement blocks everywhere to run into. It seems very dangerous and uh yeah. So they're running through there. I'm gonna find you, little boy Tyler, whatever, goes and hides, and then all of a sudden, uh, Nana starts running at the camera with the patented the ring or fucking
Yeah.
dog run
The demon crawl, yeah.
full force, fucking full speed, and she gets out. They all run out, and then she gets out. That was fun. And her knees are just fucking dirty. She
Yeah.
just brushes them off, turns around, and her dress is like ripped and her ass is showing.
Her ass cheek.
Goes in the house. I'm making chicken pot pies. Goes inside.
Like what the fuck?
And then there's another uh one where they're making noise outside the room and he looks out there and she's like scratching the wall, right? And she's naked.
Butt naked, yeah.
Ah! So that's a weird one. But the grandpa never does much to stop any of this. He's just sleeping through it.
Just let her be.
And when they mention it to him, he's always like, "Oh, don't come out of your room. Let her. It's best to let her go."
Yeah.
It's like she doesn't sleep at all because at night she's just scratching walls.
Yeah, I love the first night because this movie kind of plays like a paranormal activity where it's like they don't do like night one or anything like paranormal, but everything happens at night. So I think the first night, and it's a horror movie, so you expect when they open the door, something scary is gonna happen, or whatever. But the first night, they hear noises and they go out there and they look down the stairs, and then the fucking grandma just walks "Ah!" and just starts barfing. "Ah!" Get back in the room. I thought that was just a funny way to like do your intro scare scene. It's just this woman fucking barfing.
What's wrong with her? Oh, I think she had a stomach flu. Old people, it happens. And then another one is that I keep seeing Pop Pop go to this shed, and he's just acting very strange. He's like, "Hey, Pop Pop, hi!"
Mm-hmm.
Kind of looks at him, goes in the shed, and leaves, doesn't say anything. Then the grandma's like, he's incontinent and he has adult diapers and he's embarrassed. He's a strong man. He's not used to it. He hides them in there. And then I think he burns them in the field. Could you imagine the stench? uh, and then there's one night where she like picks up a knife,
Yeah.
grandma, during the footage. Uh, oh yeah, that's the one where they decided to secretly film the living room,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? For some reason, there's something's going on here. Yeah, she's got dementia. She's doing weird shit. We know that
Yeah.
already. Why are we gonna film it?
Mhm.
Let's film it. After she doesn't want to. No, I do artsy pictures. This is exploitative.
Yeah. And
And
Tyler's
then
like, come on, I want to see this shit. This is fucking wild. Let's
yeah,
go.
this is fucking crazy, man. So so they set it up, and he has it set up, and she the first time, and she says no, but the second time she adds another little figurine in front of it. So it's like me is the the camera, and it's got something here and something here to hide
Yeah.
it. Ooh, two figurines. You'll never see this camera here. And then the grandma walks into that room, starts acting a little strange, and then kind of disappears from view. And then of course, like within 10 seconds of to the camera. It's like she found it. We didn't hide it very well. Shit.
Yeah, immediately. She immediately
Yeah.
found
She picks it up and kind of takes it around with her for a minute and then sets it down or something or drops it. I don't remember, but it's down. And then she picks up a knife and that's when it's like, "Oh, okay, this is getting a little bad. It's not just
Yeah.
fun scratch the wall dementia. Now we're grabbing butcher knives." And didn't she like knock on their door or try to get in their door
Yeah, she's trying to get in.
with the knife?
For credit to M. Night Shyamalan, he's really good at tension when he's really trying, I guess. Um, but that scene, I think this is probably the third or fourth time I've watched this, said and I watched this movie. And the tension in that scene is fucking great because you see her grab the camera, which is a stupid, cheap jump scare or whatever. And then you see her grab a fucking huge butcher knife, and then she walks upstairs, puts the camera down, like you said, and then goes and stands at the door. And then we cut to inside the room. So it's like, as an audience, we know what's on the other side of that door. We don't know what's going to happen. So it's really good at building tension. I don't know why the camera's on at night while they're sleeping. That doesn't make a lot of this doesn't. I mean, it's found footage stuff. Some of this stuff doesn't make sense, but yeah, it's a creepy scene. At that point, they're like, yeah, this is not okay. This is getting a little real now. Grandma's outside her fucking room with a butcher knife.
Yeah, and then we also get some lady coming to the house, right? Where
Yeah.
they're not there. Say, I've been trying to get a hold of your grandparents for a week and they won't answer. And she says that they're counselors and she was at the place and they helped her with the counseling and I don't know, she wants to see them or something. And so that's an interesting one. And then we see the grandparents talking to her, right? And then she kind of disappears. Oh, I never saw her leave. All these really strange things happen that they don't investigate too much.
Hmm.
Yet little things they'll investigate. Oh, she vomited. That's hella weird.
Yeah.
What about the
Yeah.
disappearing woman
Yeah.
whose car is still here? That's more weird, I think. Oh yeah, and after the knife thing, they call their mom. Um, I like the lady who plays the mom, who's in WandaVision and
Yeah. Yeah.
Step Brothers. She's not in a lot as like main character, so it's kind of cool to see her in a bigger role.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, they call her about the knife thing. You have to come pick us up. I never tell her. It's always so ambiguous. And it's like, no, you got to come get us now. Why? Oh my God, what's going on? Just get in the car and come here now. Okay? Don't ask questions. We'll be waiting here in the
Hmm.
dangerous house until you get here. But hurry. This could be bad. That's all I'm gonna say. This line could be monitored.
Yeah. And she's like, "Do you know how long it would fucking take me to get there? Like, what are you talking about?"
Yeah, and apparently not that long,
Yeah.
as we find out.
Uh,
Apparently not that long at all. Um, but she kind of says no, they're old, right? She kind of explains it away. They're old.
I think in the middle of the movie they raise concern because she's on the cruise at one point. They're having a Skype conversation and they raise some concerns. And I think the mom's like, "Okay, now is a good time to talk to you guys about this. Hey, mom and dad have some fucking issues. Old people don't know that they're going crazy. You know, you're gonna just kind of have to deal with it." But then when they get to the end, when they're like really scared, that's when I think because she's at home at that point. She gets home from the cruise.
Yeah, and she wouldn't know anything about them.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, how would you know? You haven't seen them in 15
You
years.
haven't been there
Well,
15
they're
years.
going a little batty. How do you know?
You ain't here. You ain't seeing the shit.
Yeah, yeah. And then oh, I think it's during that part of the call about the knife that they're acting really strange. Look, like they're outside talking to someone. Oh, it's so strange to go outside and talk with a person. So they hold the laptop up. Until that point, like the camera wasn't working. Like, oh, your cat, I spilled
Yeah, some
batter
schmutz.
on your camera. Some dumb reason to not have a camera. Um, and then they put it up there, and she's like, "Hold on." The mom's like, "That those aren't your grandparents." What do you mean? You've been staying with them the whole time? Yeah? Oh my God. And then she's like, "Okay." Tries calling the police. You don't answer. I'm heading down there right now. Um, and then she's get out of the house, go to a neighbor's house. They never
Which
attempt
they
to leave
don't
the
do,
house.
yeah.
They kind of attempted, it was just a half-ass, like, oh, we're gonna go outside, and then
Yeah.
they open the door to go outside and see that the person who was getting counseling from them hanging from a tree,
Which they didn't see before this whole day. All right.
like hung, and then the grandpa quickly shuts the door, and then I think she said, "What was that? What was that? It was a person hanging from a tree.
Yeah.
I clearly saw it." You, oh my, that could have been anything.
Yeah.
And then it's just very strange that the last night they're like, "Oh, it's your last night with us. Let's play a board game." That's how families interact, the grandpa says. And then they start to get really strange on the last day. Like they held it together this whole time, but
Yeah.
on the last day they just fucking going weird. And like everyone in the cafeteria says, "I'm the Yahtzee master." And then the girl is like, Rebecca, "What cafeteria? Wait a minute, what cafeteria?"
Yeah.
And then I think one of the best lines is the grandma saying, "You're not a Yahtzee master. That takes 10 years." Like, that's totally something a crazy person would say.
Yeah.
It makes complete sense in their mind.
Oh
No,
God.
a Yahtzee master takes 10 years.
Yeah.
I, I would know. I've met many a Yahtzee master in my day.
Or the
Uh,
I'm a Milton Brand. What's the company? Milton Brandy Brand.
yeah, I was using a strategy. It's
Yeah.
a Milton Bradley approved strategy
Yeah.
too.
Grandpa, that's
This game's
Hasbro. Yeah.
this game's made by Hasbro. No, it's not. You're a liar. It used
Oh
to be
God.
made by Milton Bradley. Now it's made by Hasbro. And he just
Yeah.
like
Anyways.
puts the dice in the cup and
Oh my God.
oh God. Um oh, and he shits himself. Right
Oh
there.
yeah.
He rolls the dice and we hear like a he stands up slowly and walks out. Uh,
Oh
oh,
God.
he's okay. And then how does the grandma leave the table at that point? Or does she
The
stay?
girl says she needs to go do. Oh, she needs a new battery. Her battery's dying.
Yeah.
So she runs off on her own to the basement. So we kind of see where she's going for a little bit, and then we cut back. And I think the grandma's just like standing on the
Oh yeah,
table,
yeah.
or just standing up, and then the grandpa's like, "All right, we're gonna get you to bed now."
Is her hand like this?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's
Why is
9:30.
her hand like that?
That sundowning's happening. We got to get you to sleep.
9:30 on the dot. She just turned into a ultra weirdo. Um, for some reason, Becca sneaks into the basement, right? And finds a picture of the real grandparents, and then like a uniform from the, and she's like, I forget what it was called, but whatever psychiatric ward, what? Huh?
Yeah.
And then underneath there is the bodies of the grandparents. Uh, I would imagine that would be a terrible stench in the house. Never noticed it. Um, and then we got Tyler in the kitchen with the grandpa, and the grandpa's kind of going nuts on him,
Best part of the movie by far, not even
oh
close.
yeah,
That's the best part of the movie.
and he said, "You have a problem with germs, don't you?" Yep. Oh, okay. And then goes and smears the fucking poopy diaper on his face. And this Tyler's just a fucking little pussy during this part. He's just like standing there and never says it. He's like in total fear. And he has a thing about germs ever since his dad left. It's a way for him to control the situation. There's
Yeah.
that ridiculous part. It's on my hand. I can feel it. There's no tissues. Like a tissue's gonna get the germs off your hand. Anyways, smears him with the poop. He just stands there. And then what's Becca's upstairs for some reason, and Grandma is up there, right? And then goes into the monster crawl and crawls under the bed. And what is she's on the bed for some reason? I think because she like crawls underneath the sheet around and onto the bed.
yeah,
She's
yeah.
under the sheet, and then boom, pops out. It's on top of her, yelling, and I don't know what her intention is. She's not really hurting her. She's just kind of being crazy. Oh, she does push her head like
Oh,
I
yeah,
didn't
the
understand.
mirror.
It's just
Yeah.
yeah, she's like just staring at the mirror, filming it with the grandma in the background like it's fucking Blair Witch
Yeah.
2016.
Don't look
Like you
at it,
don't look
yeah.
at it and it's fine. You can only look at her reflection. And there was some other subtle shit about her never looking in a mirror anymore. You don't like
Yeah.
what you see, do you? Tyler's like, you think you're not enough, huh? You don't look in mirrors. So she's looking in a mirror.
And she's
And,
finally brave enough to look in the mirror to save herself. I don't fucking know what it. I'm assuming that's
Yeah.
what he was trying to say, but
And she pushes her head into the mirror. Ah! Ow! Anyways, and crawls on top of her, and then that's when she has to pick up a piece of the glass and stab her in the neck. And then she goes downstairs and sees Tyler with the poopy face with Grandpa. And then Grandpa kind of starts wrestling around with her. and she's just like, Tyler, run. There's been many points where they could have stayed together and helped each other, but she'll be like, Tyler, run. I'm going over here.
Yeah.
Like go upstairs and separate and all these weird things. So, oh yeah, Tyler has this faded memory of he thinks dad left because he missed this tackle during this football game.
He freezes.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and so he sees him fighting. He finally does something, and he tackles him. And then he's like, "Look for the open man!"
Oh
Tackles
yeah.
him again. Keep your eye on the ball. Wrap up those legs. Just repeating Dad's advice. Oh God! Tackles him and then goes over there and then smashes his head in with the fridge.
Yeah. Over and over. Ah!
Just yelling. And they exit the house. Cops are pulling up, and mom is there, finally pulling up with the cops. And yeah, it only took her like an hour or two to get there.
Yeah.
This will take forever to drive there. Um, yeah. Then we have them going home in an interview. One last interview with mom, where she's like, "Well, since you had to brutally kill these people who weren't your grandparents because I decided to go on a riverboat gambling cruise. I'll give you this. I'll give you the story. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Here it is. So when I tried to leave the house, my mom shut the door and got in between me and the door. I hit my mom. I hit her. And then my dad hit me. And we all stood there in disbelief. And then I left. And that's the last time I ever saw them. And it's like you think it's going to be something crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. 2 hits and that's it. And then she's like, through the years, many times they've tried to call me. And it's like, I know you wanted to make this movie and go down there for me to be forgiven. But you didn't need to do that. Because I could have at any point been forgiven. Don't hold on to your hate, honey. Don't hold on to it. And then we see scenes of their dad and them as kids. And she said she would never put that in the movie because she hates her dad. And she
Yeah.
let go of her hate that day and put it in the movie. And then we get a little freestyle at the end by Tyler.
Yeah. Ooh,
He
fun,
made me
cool.
put this
Yeah.
in. Yo, I'm 13. I'm a ball player. I'm born to be a ball player.
I got shit rubbed in my face.
My name is my name is 50 Tyson. Yeah. So I think it was a return to form for Shyamalan. It was definitely a pick me up after the last couple that he did. I like it. It's interesting. It's fun. It's it's kind of cool because it's kind of plausible. It's not too crazy.
Yeah.
It's not like a demon or a ghost or something nuts. It's just a crazy person who murdered someone. And yeah, it's interesting. It's a fresh take on this kind of found footage stuff with Shyamalan doing it. I like it. It's fun. I give it a 7.4. I enjoy it.
Yeah, we're really close this week. Yeah, this was my pick this week. I've just been in a Shyamalan mood for some reason. I think it's maybe because of the resurfacing of Last Airbender, which I haven't watched yet, but it just kind of got me thinking about Shyamalan again. I think that's the only movie of his I haven't. No, I haven't seen. I haven't seen Lady in the Water, and I haven't seen Avatar. But I don't know. I've always been drawn to this one. Like I said, I've seen this 3 or 4 times since 2015. A lot of it is due to just like October comes around. You know, you watch your horror movies. This kind of just happens to be in rotation from time to time. But yeah, I kind of echo a lot of what you said. It's a different found footage movie. It's not ghosts. It's not demons. It's just this creepy old people or this old couple, which I find kind of fascinating. The movie's kind of funny at times. Like there's a
Yeah,
moment
definitely.
where there's one night where the grandma has like her hands behind her back. She's like running around the house, and then like the next day or whatever, they're walking through the snow, and the kid's like, "Hey, who am I?" And he puts his hand behind it, and he starts like running around the snow. It's a little funny moment. Again, great use of tension. I mean, I've seen this a few times, and even that reveal. I know it's coming. I've seen it, but just that reveal still hits. It's just like, oh, the way it's done. Yeah, hey, where are your grandparents? Oh, they're outside. Let me show you. And then it's just like, wait, hold on. Like I don't know, just how it was executed was really well done. The last like 15 minutes of this movie is so good, particularly the stuff with the grandpa and the son and the way it's shot. It's like Tyler's, I think he's like out of focus in the foreground, but you just see his hips and his
Hmm.
arm, and you just watch Grandpa like go behind the island of the kitchen and like shuffle down. You're like, what the fuck is he doing? And then it keeps cutting back to the room, and it keeps cutting back to Grandpa, and like you're like, what the fuck is happening? And then yeah, the poop to the face. I remember seeing this in theaters opening weekend, and it was packed. It was like a sold out screening, and fucking everybody collectively just goes, "Oh!" Like it was one of those like cool movie moments where everyone was just so fucking disgusted because you don't see it coming. It's so out of fucking left field. You're like, "Ugh." But yeah, it's a good movie. It's a good twist. It's plausible, like you said. I think that when you really think about it, some of it doesn't add up. Some of the stuff you already mentioned, so it's kind of that kind of takes you out, or like why are they filming? But that, I think it just kind of comes with this genre. I think the girl wasn't my favorite. I think she's probably the weakest person in this movie in terms of, and she's like really stiff. She kind of comes off as arrogant and a know-it-all film person. I
Hmm.
don't know. She just rubbed me the wrong way. Um, but no, it's good, man. I enjoyed it. I was coming today with 7.2. I think uh, if people don't remember, like we said earlier, like he was coming off of four really bad fucking movies, critically and audience. Like they hate. He was basically done. It seemed like. So for him to come
Yep.
out with this, a solid thriller, it's not like some of his best, but it was solid enough to be like, oh shit, this guy's still got something in his tank. He's not running on empty anymore. So yeah, 7.2 for me. I think it's a pretty good movie.
Yeah, 7.2, 7.4. And oh, he wasn't in this one, was he?
He was not, no.
No, no cameo. What the fuck, man? He always
Yeah.
cameos. So that's different too. Yeah, 7.2, 7.4. Go check it out. It's on Max or yeah, rent it, I'm sure, anywhere else. We appreciate you coming by. We're always on Spotify, Apple Music, and we're here on YouTube. Couldn't do it without you. We enjoy having you, and we appreciate you very much. And until the next Vs, we're always going to tell you, peace.
Peace.